This is another episode whose title I love. It's just so blunt, like they knew full well that the mystery of Kate's original crime was the only reason that anyone was still invested in her. And we don't even have to wait that long as she blows up her house, killing her drunken, abusive stepfather Wayne after he hits on her. God, this is so contrived. Having come up with the idea of her as a fugitive, the writers now feel compelled to give her a crime so sympathetic that no one could possibly think any less of her for doing it, and end up going completely over the top. And this still does nothing to absolve her of all the other crap we've seen her pull. This is followed by a scene making clear that Wayne beat up Kate's mother too. You know, whichever one of the writers on this show hated their father this much, I feel for you, I do, but stop. This is getting to the same level as Stephen King's issues with bullies. And they may have had a problem with their mother too, because we already saw that Kate's mother yelled for the cops, which ended up getting Tom killed, and now it turns out she originally called them. She's being taken in by the same marshal who found her in Australia, and a horse runs in front of the car, making it crash and allowing Kate to escape. And she gets really damn violent about it too. Are we honestly still meant to sympathize with this woman? Her first stop is to her father, except she reveals that she's figured out Wayne was her real father, because whoever it was on staff just hadn't gotten enough of sticking it to their old man already in the episode. The island story starts with Hurley approving of Jin and Sun having sex, and I feel like I need a shower just saying that. Jack hears Sawyer deliriously say that he loves Kate because now that these two are back together, this is obviously the only thing that can possibly be done with them. And then Kate sees the horse while she's picking apples. It's gonna be one of those episodes, huh? Kate offers to watch Sawyer so Jack can go to Shannon's funeral because he should be there. Why exactly? Ana Lucia doesn't go despite Echo telling her that most of the people realize her killing Shannon was an accident. And that's the last we hear of it. Well, it was a decent conflict while it lasted. Saeed gives the eulogy at Shannon's funeral, and all I can think of is how he might have reacted if he found out she was the reason why he got detained at the airport. Kate's watching over Sawyer when he wakes up and demands to know why she killed him, apparently possessed by Wayne's ghost. This is the only time something like this happens in the whole show, so why here? No idea. After the commercial, Jack and Locke find Kate gone and Sawyer on the floor, so they're taking writing tips from the Animorph show now. Then a rare endearing moment for Charlie when Kate asks in complete seriousness if there could be horses on the island, and his reaction is pure placate the crazy person. Jin finally gets that handcuff cut off his wrist, and then one of my favorite bits when Michael notices there's a blast door in the Swan which Locke hadn't noticed at all. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Mr. Destiny. Jack finds Kate and they have one of the weirdest scenes ever, and it's all on Kate's part, surprisingly enough. Jack is completely spot on as he gets pissed over her leaving Sawyer, to which Kate yells that she can't be perfect like him, and then kisses him, and then looks at him like he asked if he could sleep with her 10-year-old daughter, and walks away, presumably to fondle her toy airplane some more. Like I said, weird. Locke shows the orientation film to Michael and Echo, and we spend way too much time watching them watching something that we've already seen.
I think the film's pretty self-explanatory.
No, it really isn't. And thankfully, Michael actually does point this out.
So I'm going crazy?
Ah, good. Step 1 is over and the healing can begin. Unfortunately, Saeed tells her about seeing Walt, which is probably a step backwards. Locke shows Michael how the computer doesn't work until the alarm sounds, and Michael asks if he can look at some of the equipment.
Just don't break it.
Wow, what an asshole.
Hello again.
Hello.
Look, why don't you just kiss him instead of talking him to death? Echo goes into a long biblical story instead of getting to the point that a Bible he found at the Arrow has a piece of film that was cut from the orientation video. I should mention that this is another episode given 5 extra minutes, and between this and that bit of everyone watching the film again earlier, they really did not know what to do with that time.
I'm probably crazy.
Yeah, I'd hold on to that thought. She spills her guts about how she killed Wayne because she couldn't stand that he was her biological father and a part of him was in her, and I shudder to think of what anyone from a real abusive home would make of this. Congratulations, you might become like Kate someday. But it turns out Sawyer's awake now and pretty darn confused over who Wayne is, and if it's wrong to find that funny, I don't want to be right.
I mean, think about it. Somebody made this film. Someone else cut this piece out. We crash. Two halves of the same plane fall on different parts of the island. You're over there, I'm over here. And now, here's the missing piece right back where it belongs. What are the odds?
Well, yeah, when you put it like that, it does sound pretty stupid, doesn't it? Oh, and by the way, we never do find out why the film was split up like this. Kate takes Sawyer outside where they both see the horse, and that's the last we ever hear of it, so yeah, just more gratuitous random crap to distract us from how nothing is actually happening. The added piece of film talks about how the computer shouldn't be used for anything but inputting the code or there could be another incident. And despite what we're about to see, this never happens. So this entire development was, like so much else on this show, utterly pointless. Michael sees a message on the computer, apparently from Walt. I've already given a blanket unanswered questions designation to everything Walt related, but I should still point out that it's never confirmed if this really is Walt, and if so, how he's talking on the computer, and more importantly, why, given the situation we later find out he's in. So, business as usual. My score for what Kate did is 3 out of 10. Kate is at her most inexplicable here, and it doesn't help that the writing bends over backwards so much to make the titular event as sympathetic as possible, to the point where you wonder why they didn't just have her get in trouble in some country where feeding a starving dog is illegal. And the rest just amounts to a bunch of stuff happening. It holds your interest as it's going on, but means nothing once it's over. As well, this is the start of a huge rut the show would be in for a while, featuring episodes where hardly anything happens, then some huge cliffhanger in the last few seconds. It's a lazy and obvious technique that really got on my nerves after a while.